right, welcome back to the World Championship Series Europe Premier League as we have the final series of the round of 32 on the way. But before that, let's take a little bit of a look at exactly how we got here.
Yeah, definitely been a fast evening today. I mean, we're actually less than 3 hours into the show, which is actually very fast for us being in the last series of the day. But as you can see, if you're just joining us, Grubby, first place, 2-0. 2-0. So congratulations, a fantastic performance by him. And then we saw VortiX eliminate the last Korean in the round of 32, pushing up now Europeans versus Koreans for the round of 16. €9 and then 7 Kurs.
The Europeans have been holding quite nicely throughout the round of 32. I mean, that's evident in terms of how many numbers we have of Europeans against Koreans there. But still, we have some very strong Koreans in the round of 16. So, as you said at the very start of this season, best season yet. I'm looking forward to the round of 16.
Yeah, the round of 16 is going to be so awesome. But before we get into that, we also have the final match, and we will, once that final match completes, have the group drawings later. So don't go anywhere. Once we finish with the VortiX and Tefel game, we'll be going straight into the drawings, and we'll see who plays who. But for now, decider time.
All right, so our last game of the night is going to be VortiX going up against Tefel, a ZVZ, a rematch between these two Zergs to find out who gets that last spot in the round of 16.
And it's very difficult to call between the both of them. They've already played once today. VortiX won game 1. Tefel adapted and beat him easily in game 2. And then kind of VortiX made mistakes of his own that Tefel capitalized on in game 3 and pushed himself through to be able to beat VortiX. So as much as we started on it, we're going to end on that series. So not too sure what to expect this time around, because there definitely will be mind games. And if you didn't see them earlier, they started to play a factor as the series went on, and they would definitely play a factor entering this for a second time. The couple of mind games that, if you didn't see, that were played out, is that VortiX was taking gas a little bit later than usual, which means his Zergling speed and Bings were later, and that actually gave Tefel an automatic win, almost, in game number 2, because he exploited that, rushed out an attack, and won the game immediately. And then the third game was not so much mind game-esque, but more so about Tefel just clean as anything, minimal mistakes, and VortiX just overbuilt units, not enough drones, fell behind, quite far behind in the game, and Tefel just, ran over it for the rest of it.
Yeah, and it was a really, really fun ZVZ to watch. Again, just those small intricacies as they play out against one another are big, big factors. And I can't imagine what is going to happen in this first game because of how much happened in the first series. So what build do you do? I think you play like the safest possible build in this first game because of how everything played out in the first series.
Yeah, it's hard to call exactly how this is going to play out. The first map is going to be the map that Tefel got the automatic win on earlier today. So that'll be cool to see how things change up here. Is he going to do the same? Does VortiX start to adjust himself a little bit? But at the end of the day, this is actually a very, very big game for Tefel, more so than VortiX, because I think VortiX he's meant to be able to win this series, even though he lost the one at the start. I think the pressure really comes onto Tefel, even though he won the first series of the day, because he's lost the game recently, obviously being in this decider. And I think that he's going to be a little bit more worried about VortiX for the second time around than the first time, especially in this kind of group format, the double elimination format. I always think when the second series happens, the loser of the first series, even though he lost, and losing isn't cool, you get a second shot. You know how your opponent played and beat you previously. You get to make the adjustments. And then as the winning player, maybe you've already, showed everything you've got to show. I was going to say something else then, but probably would have got in trouble. You already showed everything you've got to show.
Oh, I know what you're going to say, yeah.
So, maybe there's not much left. I don't know.
Yeah, you're right. I mean, also, there's the weight on Tefel's shoulders now. It's like, well, I won the first series. Guess I'm supposed to win the second one,
Yeah.
All right, anyway, the countdown has now begun. This is the final series of the round of 32. We already know 15 players that are going to be playing live in Cologne. This series will determine that final 16th spot. At least it's going to be a Zerg.
Yes, it'll definitely be a Zerg, and it definitely won't be a Terran, unfortunately. We're stuck with only 2. But whatever the case, bring on another non-Protoss.
Hey, all right, let's jump into things. Game number 1 here in our final series of the day, as we have spawning up the top right-hand corner our red Zerg representing Mouse Sports. It is VortiX. And down to the bottom left-hand corner, we have our blue Zerg representing Dignitas. It is Tefel.
So that completes the race distribution for the round of 16. It is 9 Protoss, 5 Zerg, and 2 Terran. So, you know, a little bit Protoss heavy. 9 out of 16. It's more than half.
That's true.
5 Zerg and then just 2 lonely Terrans. But Terrans are represented by 2 strong Koreans, 4GG and Yoda.
Yep.
We'll see how well they can do. Looking at the 2 builds from both players, we do not have an early spawning pool, and we have not seen an early spawning pool, a very early one, all day today in the Zerg vs. Zergs that we have seen. Or the only series of the day, but multiple maps, whatever, you get me. So it was spawning pool first by Tefel into a pretty fast gas. So there's the spawning pool, and he took maybe 1 drone in, then straight into gas was the build that he did before to get the big win against VortiX. And I don't think he's going to do the same, because...
Wow. And VortiX goes completely undeterred. He doesn't care. He's going hatchery first to start things off in this series.
Definitely interested to see when VortiX takes his gas. Because the way that Tefel played it was to punish the lack of fast gas from VortiX, which it did.
Yeah.
In this case, Tefel isn't doing it, but of course VortiX doesn't know that yet, so we'll see how fast VortiX's gas is. But overall, VortiX has played with quite a good opening. 15 hatchery, 16 spawning pool, and that's already good in itself, and there is the faster gas as mentioned. So he's not going to lose to the same opening, the same strategy that Tefel tried before. He's going to get Zerg speed out and Bailings of his own fast enough, if there was to be aggression.
And Tefel here, likewise, once he actually pokes in with this Overlord and sees the timing of the hatchery, he can probably go in and spot around and spot that gas. So he's going to know that there isn't really a whole lot of window or opportunity for him. But
he may not be able to get in the main.
Looking at the spawning pool timing, yeah.
He might. No, I mean, he might go in for it, but he might not be able to get towards the back. It would be a little bit dangerous, but we'll see. He should be, but I wasn't sure if he was willing to because he didn't change early enough.
Yeah.
But he's going to go for it. All right, so he'll be able to spot that, but obviously in vice versa, VortiX can't.
Yep. Oh, he is going to go all the way. But you're right. I mean, with that Queen coming out at this particular time, it is a bit scary for that little Overlord.
And he didn't take the most direct route into the main.
Yeah. There is gas on the way now behind all of this for Tefel, who's going up to 100 nice and fast, catching up with that speed. And is he going to pull off? Yes, he is.
Just 1 pulling off, 2 still in.
Yep.
He knows that VortiX is still mining gas and doesn't not mine gas if he's going to get Zergling speed at this time. So VortiX can, with his next 50 gas, technically throw down that Baneling nest. So Tefel wouldn't want to not be in gas because then he would only have Zergling speed, which would be difficult against VortiX if he was to be aggressive. But no Baneling nest from VortiX. Oh, I think he's just about to put it down there.
Whoop.
Yeah.
At the front.
And that will have to be really matched by Tefel here. Oh, VortiX gets inside the main and gets a full scout here. Sees that gas has been mined, and there is the Baleen nest to match VortiX's.
Yep, spots that. Tefel technically hasn't spotted the Baleen nest, but he can pretty much infer that it is going down after what was going on, or at least take precautionary measures against the potential of it going down, which is nice.
Tefel's got a much higher drone count. He's been focused on drones heavier, and he's also only got 2 queens, not 3. And he's now starting link production. 8 doesn't necessarily mean it's going to be aggression, though. It could be just defense. With the spine, kind of 2 and 2, or 1 and 1 makes 2. And VortiX with another gas and the evolution chamber. And this is what he'd like to do earlier with a Ro32 adjacent to it as well.
Yep. So you have just that few sprinkling of lings as well for VortiX moving out into the middle.
Tefel might play Mutalisks here.
Oh, wow, yeah.
All 4 gases taken, cancelled Spine Crawler, minimal investment into gas in itself because he just hasn't used the Banelings at all.
Gets away with it completely because his opponent isn't really showing huge amounts of aggression right now.
But
there's a few lings in, though.
VortiX does scout the layer.
That's
and
nice.
Gas being taken on the natural, so he may start to realize what's going on. Great catch there by Tefel, but it looks like it could be Mutalisks. Evolution Chamber suggests not.
13 drones on the way.
Yeah.
Wow.
He loves his drones at this stage.
Yeah, he does. So, well, we'll find out in a little bit. I mean,
what VortiX is doing. I mean, he hasn't got a Roach Warren down even. And only 3 guesses, which isn't Mutalisks. It's 4 guesses for that. Okay, Roach Warren.
All right, then. Okay, then. So, just kind of going up to the norm. The Zerglings actually poke forwards and see that instantly. So, we have Tefel throwing down his own Roach Warren as well, though.
Yeah, Tefel saw the lack of 4th gas, which shows that it definitely will be like a Roach base. And he's playing Roaches himself, by the way.
Yeah.
Obviously, I mean, you see the Roach Warren and the +1 attack coming in. VortiX doesn't know that for sure yet. He sees the Evolution Chamber, but now he pokes at the front, sees the Roach Warren. This game's been really back and forth with information gathering for the time being.
Yeah, very much so.
VortiX knows he's not playing against Mutalisks now because he's seen the Roach Warren too.
And Tefel decides to hide a lot of his Banelings back there as well. The Lings are now going to continue to try and pressure that third, but there's nothing that they can really do with that amount of Banelings to defend.
No, there shouldn't really be. I mean, neither of them should be able to get damage done. VortiX has got a second Evolution Chamber. He's going to make a big jump ahead in terms of quality of his units here with the, obviously, Carapace upgrade coming in. But they're both very similar in workers and also kind of similar in unit count. It's 9 Roaches to 5 in favor of Tefel, but with a distance on the other side of the map, it's kind of difficult to get over there fast enough to do anything with that.
And Zerglings for VortiX, though, were really well separated up when he was going for the aggression, just to eventually, you know, make it hard for the Banelings to do anything. So that was a nice start, at least. But this is going to normalize. Yeah,
this is going to normalize. They both will drone to a decent count for both all 3 bases, which is, at the moment, 60-odd drones between them both, and they are adding on equal amounts of Roaches. Defender's advantage is huge here for both players because they are so similar in the game. No one really has a lead. But VortiX, with double upgrades coming in, will take a lead in this game. Especially because they're so similar on workers and units that he will drag ahead by a little bit here in the fights.
And especially since he was super aggressive about starting his +2, it's important to see when Tefel now starts his +2 as well.
Yeah, it's got to be upbeat. He's got to hit it straight away. Otherwise, I mean, every second counts.
Yeah, exactly. Otherwise, those windows become bigger and bigger. And +1 is finished for Tefel now. He's actually moving out. There's +2, so really good timing on that as well.
And he moves out, but he doesn't really have enough to beat VortiX. I think VortiX, better reinforcements, better position overall. Can't really be broken. And VortiX knows he's in probably good shape with his double Evolution Chambers. And so far, this game, until now, was going really in the way of VortiX, but there's the Hydra Den switch. Ooh, so we may see drones being built to gas the third, to actually power the Hydras, but the Hydras Den offer a lot.
Yeah.
Obviously. I mean, Hydras are great.
VortiX started tunneling claws there for a second, realized the aggression was coming and cancelled it. So knowing that he was probably going to have to greet an attack, decides to
he
go
probably started
that.
again now because he sees a gas being built on a third of his opponent, which means he might be droning and might be looking to tech up soon, which would give VortiX the option to spend that money somewhere. And that gas alone, even though it's a very small detail, tells VortiX a lot about this game, just the gas on the third there. And the Hydras coming in will play a big factor into this game. Hydra range on the way. Hydra's been added in. But much better upgrades still, as mentioned, for VortiX.
Yeah, started his +2 carapace really fast as well during all of this. Tefel has to have clicked on those units at some point. Whoa, does not want to go in there.
Yeah, good like pincer move from VortiX.
Yeah, very, very nice. Tefel has to get right on out.
Oh, he's losing a lot at the back there. And then with the upgrade +2 attack about to finish for VortiX, he also spotted the gas in the third, which tells us that his opponent's teching. And that's the kind of move I talked about earlier where could push a Zerg to kill you.
Yeah, that's
small little details.
A lot of Roaches here for VortiX, who now establishes a better concave.
And the +2 attack is about to complete in seconds.
Uh-oh. Uh-oh. If he gets too far ahead with this, he has already way more Roaches in the vicinity. This could get really, really ugly. He's on top of some Hydralisks on this left-hand side as well. That's the perfect position for these Roaches to now start devouring through these numbers.
Perfect. Again by VortiX. And look at the small details that tell him to attack. Unbelievable. Just hits it before the Hydralisk numbers get too high. He gets in there with his upgrade advantage before Tefel can use his tech advantage, which are the Hydralisk numbers at proper amounts. Oh boy, man. VortiX just gets it sometimes. I watch him play and he just gets it.
45 roaches against 13 with only one Hydralisk on the field. This is a huge sign of how it can be so difficult if you, like, one, fall behind in terms of those upgrades, but also two, you try and start a new tech count. I mean, that can really hurt as well. There you go. GG. VortiX takes game number 1. Clinical.
And that must be really difficult for Tefel to digest, because VortiX just got off the back of beating Patience, and he looked like he got beaten up a little bit, but then turned around to play better and better.
Yeah.
And now has won the first game in this series as well. Tefel's got to be shaking in his boots now. VortiX is looking like he's woken up a bit. He's not making as many mistakes. He's playing quite good again. And now, when he's playing that good, we know what he's capable of.
Yeah, he's one game away now from advancing through to the round of 16. So, despite in previous seasons, him always taking the 2-0, 2-0, 2-0 in the round of 32, so far, it hasn't been that easy. And if he wins this, it still continues not to have been that easy.
Yeah.
But at least he advances through, right? At least he still keeps his chances alive if he can take one more map.
Yeah, I mean, if VortiX wins this one more map, he would be top 16 for the 6th consecutive time, which is very consistent and very impressive. And we all know how good he is, and that really just is an example of why.
All right, so we're just waiting now to get into the second map here. Did you, in terms of looking at Zerg versus Zerg there in game number 1, did you see any potential things that Tefel could exploit going into the second game?
Not really. It was a very solid game from VortiX. The only thing that Tefel will be annoyed at is the double evolution chamber was allowed to be gotten away with. But because they were so equal in worker and army supply for the majority of it, how could he have stopped it is the question. You couldn't really, because if he did try to get in that window, there wasn't really anything to hit. So, to be honest, I mean, it is hard for Tefel, like I said, hard to digest. Like, there's nothing he could have done to have stopped that in that game, unless he'd found an area to gain an advantage or had equaled up with a double evolution chamber himself.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you know.
Yeah, I think that's the best idea, right? Just match it, basically, as long as you're getting the scouting right on top of things. Anyway, next map is going to be merry-go-round between VortiX and Tefel.
This has a large natural ramp, which can help Zergling Baneling play because it's more difficult to hold on to. So that could boost up the level of aggression we see in the early parts. But overall, I'd be expecting similar things unless someone tries to go for a big attack or something.
Yeah. Well, okay. So I think Tefel is taking maybe a few moments here. He realizes this is a bit of a dire spot, and then is just taking a second, which is completely understandable in this situation, I think.
Yeah, he's in trouble. I mean, VortiX played very good there. And like I said, if he was trying to break that down in his own mind, it's hard to find what to do better.
Yeah.
Because I didn't think Tefel played that bad either.
All right. So I think after looking at that first game, I think VortiX is with the clear advantage. I think from the previous series, there's a bit of momentum there in terms of, right, I'm filling into my groove of things, kind of getting it going.
I agree. I think VortiX is probably feeling more comfortable than ever before. He's got a cushion to fall back onto if he messes up.
Yeah.
He's already leading. He's stepped up his game a little bit. His hands are warm. Well, he's in Spain. I guess his hands are always warm.
Probably.
I think he's going to probably close this up now. It's going to be a really difficult uphill battle for Tefel, but if he does it, then that really sets the tone for the third game. But at the moment, I see VortiX.
I mean, he could go for something wild here because he does have that cushion and because we've seen him attempt to in the previous series against Patience then just kind of get scouted.
It's a 3-player map. You can't scout straight away.
Yeah.
I mean, you could if you get lucky, but yeah, you could gamble.
All right, so countdown is finished. We're loading up into game at number 2. This could be the final game of the night if VortiX is to go for the 2-0. But then again, we could get a game number 3. If Tefel ties it up 1-1, we'll find out. Let's get into our second game in this series as we have spawning down to the south as our blue Zerg representing Team Dignitas. It is Tefel. And up to the top right, our red Zerg representing Mouse Sports. It's VortiX.
Poland versus Spain. Poland versus Spain. VortiX has not really got a massive head-to-head against Tefel. They've really not met that much in official matches.
Yeah,
it's only 1-0. It's not that impressive. Obviously, just one series. And, yeah. Well, this is the second. Well, actually, thinking about it, 1-1 now.
It's the third.
First game. It's the third series, so
yeah.
1-1 between them. No one's decided on an early spawning pool here. I guess one thing you could try for Tefel, but is a risk if he was to go for that like 13-12 spawning pool or something, to punish the hatchery first, to kill it and then get your own hatchery. That is something he could try, but it's not something that is reliable to try, because you don't know for sure he's going to open up hatchery first, even though VortiX has a lot of the time.
Yep. A bit difficult.
Yeah. And neither of them are going to scout each other first either. So 14 spawning pool by Tefel again. Hatchery first by VortiX again. And neither of them will see each other first, as mentioned, because the Overlord's going in the wrong way. So this is nice.
Yep, not too bad. Both these Overlords going to eventually like bump into one another and be like, oh, wrong way, I guess. But the other Overlords, in essence, also moving down to the bottom right, as well as top right. So all is good. It'll eventually start on out. And Tefel, actually, you know, getting this hatchery down, eventually this will equal out. He'll have his queens a little bit quicker, so Lava will eventually kind of even out. That's a little bit of favor of VortiX, I would say.
Gas timings. Show me the money. Show me the gas.
Oh, there's one over here.
Yeah, there's one for VortiX. So again, the same as last game. And he may even play identical to how he did previously, which was, like I said, very solid. And same for Tefel, really. I mean, it is pretty much mirrored exactly from the previous game. Huh.
Boop. All right. Just getting into the groove of things here. Just getting into the groove. Do you think VortiX tries anything wild, or do you just think he plays that exactly the same game?
Same again.
Same game?
Solid, clean, minimal mistakes, probably double evolution chamber. Look for similar opportunities.
Yeah. VortiX actually gets over here with this second Overlord really fast in comparison because of the positioning of spawning locations.
Yeah, and I mean, the Lings are already out for VortiX, who will be looking at his opponent's gas timing, but notice how Tefel isn't building them and doesn't care about what his opponent's doing. So that could, because it's one drone difference, and it does kind of escalate that one drone difference already. So we could see Tefel just go straight for aggression. But he was also taking out a gas, so, you know, he's going to actually have a very good economy because he's done this. He doesn't have 3 drones carelessly mining gas that he's not going to use. And if VortiX sees this, with these links...
Oh, they're denying. The drones are here to deny. But, like, why are they there to deny? Why were they so adamant about stopping that?
Is he hiding his greed or is he hiding aggression? It's hard to call. And VortiX, I mean, the answer to both of those is to build a lot of units anyway, because they can be used defensively or aggressively. And he may do that, but likewise, we're going to see Tefel build Lings to counteract the ones that VortiX should build. But VortiX builds 5 drones, 4 Lings, 5 drones.
Yeah, that's a lot of Lings from Tefel, which, you know, have the potential of not doing a whole lot without the Baneling Nest for a while.
Yeah, Tefel throws down the Baneling Nest and is back in gas. And they're very similar in drones, actually, but the Roach Warren is the... Oh, it's hidden as well at the back there. It is the faster of the 2 players. Very similar at the moment between the both of them, apart from these 4 Banelings, where they're getting morphed in for VortiX, who now is thinking that it is heavy aggression after being denied scouting information.
Spotted a lot of those Lings moving across.
Yeah, and that's pretty good for Tefel. It was 7 drones. He's going to have a 7 drone lead in a second.
This is
nice. Oh, could have been nicer.
Yeah, could have been.
Tefel's taken a massive drone lead in this movement.
Yeah, that was quite heavy indeed.
Yeah. 7 drone lead, going to be 10 drone lead. Layer and gas is all down. VortiX is going to attack. He should cancel the spine and build a lot of roaches.
That'd be nice. Oh, cucarachas.
Cancel the spine, dude.
Bye-bye.
Build the roaches, bro.
4 Overlords opening up. Yum, yum. All right, here come the roaches.
Go kill this hoe. I just had to go with it, man. Like,
it had to be done.
I had to.
I'm sorry, I had to be done.
I'm sorry, I had to. All right, so 9 roaches on the way. A lot of Lings will follow this up. And VortiX is kind of hidden because Tef doesn't know about this until he's sending these Lings over.
All right. Third's ambitious.
So now it's spotted, kind of, because he sees the Lings and Banelings, and now he's going to have to build units of his own, but he doesn't have a Roach one, and it is only Ling defense, which is pretty bad against Banelings that are still out. And here goes VortiX.
All right.
With a Spanish flag attached to his rucksack as he marches across the map, and he wants this, and the third is cancelled. If Tefel holds this, like we've seen before in similar scenarios, then Tefel finds himself with a massive drone lead. A Roach Warren and Roach Speed probably starting up, and just overall good position. But I don't think it's going to be as clean-cut as it may seem.
12 Roaches certainly pack a punch, and they certainly tank a lot of damage against this army. Tefel now positions his Banelings at the front. The Roaches lead the charge. 2 Banelings fall for no cost whatsoever. And
man.
Banelings for Banelings, but they explode all on top of that Spine Crawler.
Tefel!
Yeah, it's looking bad for him. He needs to pull the drones.
Started so well today.
Oh dear. 10 workers already gone down. And this means almost the death here of Tefel.
Oh man, he's as dead as a doorknob here. This is not good for him.
Oh, those poor Roaches as well at the natural.
Oh man, this must suck so hard for Tefel to beat VortiX already once today, but then to have to fear the wrath of the revenge of the Spanish Armada.
GG! Congratulations to VortiX for scraping on through there. Not so much the last series. On to the round of 16. He advances in second place.
Next to Grubby, who went through in first place. So we have the 2 Premier League players of last go through, Grubby and VortiX. And, well, VortiX escapes elimination here. And congratulations to VortiX, because he actually gets a 6th consecutive round of 16 placement.
I believe he's the only player in WCS Europe now to have completed that kind of feat. He almost could have gone through 2-0, 2-0 every single time, but he does slip on through. So as you can see, just to wrap up the day, as you can see, Grubby advancing on in first place. Congratulations to him. A very, very strong achievement there. And then VortiX taking that second spot.
Yeah, I lost the first game of the day, but is able to make the comeback and win multiple games in a row to find himself the 16th player in the Premier League. We have our 16.
Wow, and what a 16 it is. Look how many Premier League players actually were eliminated during this. Big names like Jackshi, MMA is gone, MVP is gone, and our challengers giving them a run for their money.
Yeah, that's a fantastic set of players that we have in the top 16. And we're going to be going into the drawings pretty shortly here. We're going to be finding out who is playing who. Kalaris, before we start the drawings, walk us through how it actually takes place.
Sounds good. All right, so we have 4 groups in total. Obviously, there's 16 players. And each group will consist of 2 first places and 2 second places. Now, it's also important to note that any first place and second place from the round of 32 are unable to meet one another in the round of 16. And that is pretty much how it's devised.
So we can pretty much let the games begin here. We're going to bring up all 4 groups, A, B, C, and D, which will be played, as you can see, from Monday to Thursday from the start of June, the 9th of June. Same place, same time. It will be a live show. The players will be in the studio. It's going to be awesome. But the way we're going to do it, as Clara said, we're going to have that first slot of each group filled up first.
Yeah, that's also important to note. First places will be in the top 4 spots. Top 2 spots from each group. And then second places in the bottom 2. Fourth, second will play third when it comes to the initial games of the groups. And also, you know, it's not that far away. Round of 16, so make sure to come over. It'd be very, very nice to have you here.
Let the games begin.
All right. Ready to see who is going to be going into these groups. We have absolutely no clue.
No, we do not.
So
not involved in this process. So we'll see how this is going to shape up. We'll have 1 player from Group A first to see who will play on Monday.
Hey! Hi, Grubby.
All right. Group B, second player. Well, first player from Group B, second player Evolve.
Hey! Well moved.
Protoss getting spread. And we'll go across to Group C.
That was some good finish there.
Yep. And also Group D.
So
they are first place finishers. LiveZerg, of course, that big win in his group. And we'll be going into the second player now, which will be the other first place finishers.
First gets drawn in with Grubby. Okay, I'm under the impression Grubby's probably not too happy with this. First, he is here, man. He is here and he is in charge to, like, position himself in Europe as one of the strongest.
And we have MC immediately there thrown into Group B with Wellmu. So we have 2 Protoss all Protoss so far, apart from LiveZerg. At least they're getting spread out pretty fast. They did, of course, have a lot of first-place finishes.
Yes, they did.
Were Protoss. So, Wellmo and MC, that was definitely a good one that could potentially be seen. They're not necessarily going to play against each other. Of course, first place, fourth, second place, third. And I guess we can go over to Group C.
Ooh, all right. So
Austin draws Snoot.
Probably not that happy with that. Snoot right now is looking really good, gotta say. Really, really good.
Yep, Snoot is, up there with VortiX. Those two are the players, the Europeans who are just making a name for themselves as the best right now. Austin draws him. Not the best draw there, but, well, you got to have one of these guys, so you want a Protoss or Snoot?
Yeah.
All right, who's next? Claris, can you think of the last one?
No. Oh, it's San. All right, okay. This makes way more sense now.
I mean, maybe Harston wants Snoot over San MC in first. I don't know. But that is the first couple.
All right. Now is where it gets juicy. Now is where it gets very juicy. So to reiterate, the person that gets put in the next slot will be playing the previous player in their group. So, for example, in Group A, the next player will be playing first. Damn it.
All right. Who's got Grubby in first?
Golden. All right. First versus Golden as one of our opening matches.
The very first game, the opening match of the round of 16 is first versus Golden.
Wait, wouldn't it be Grubby versus... Oh, can we change that?
I got messed up. My brain.
Can we have first as the first match? Because that would make...
I know, that's what I was thinking when I was looking at it. Never mind.
Damn.
Golden joins Grubby in first.
All right, Group B. Todd. Wait a minute.
Todd meets MC. Todd meets the reigning champion.
Sorry, Todd. I mean, I'm not supposed to laugh here.
No, we're meant to be serious and honest. But unfortunately, Todd, you've just drawn the champion with Wellmo, who's also one of the best PvP players there is. So that's a very difficult group.
Yeah. But hey, Todd did show us good games in round of 32. So
where are the two Terrans going to be? I can't wait to find out those two slots.
Ooh, Terrans.
All right.
Oh, there it is. 4GG. Hey, Group C is looking quite nice.
Ooh, Snoot versus 4GG. Snoot versus 4GG. Wow.
That's a sick opening game for that group.
That is
one of them.
Cool game.
And who will play San first? Nutchio!
Sorry, this always happens to you.
It's not us! It's not us!
You always get drawn the Protoss player, and I know you don't like it.
Oh, well, at least LiveZerg's in there for him,
San,
right?
Show San. Nutchio, show San the way of the Mutalist, bro.
Yeah.
Show him the Mutalist Corruptor style. Show him. All right, so those are the first three players in all groups, and we will be going over now for the final selection. There's only 4 players left. We have Group A, B, C, D. Start over with Group A then.
Mana. All right. That's... I'd say this is a relatively cool group. Pretty balanced. Grubby versus Mana first.
Yeah.
Wow.
Well, first is second. It's not... Grubby versus Mana is the opening game of the round of 16
it is
officially.
The opening game.
So if you want to watch Grubby play, you best be out on Monday, 6 o'clock, and that's an awesome game. That's Team Liquid's rising new star Mana. Well, even though he's risen before, he's going to do it again.
Resurging new star.
Absolutely, and then first and Golden. So that is Group A completed.
Group B. Yoda.
Well, the Terrans aren't in the same group.
Hey, congratulations, Terrans.
Congratulations, you may get 2 through. But that is a very, very difficult group. Of course, Yoda and MC are housemates. They live together. And unfortunately, they're going to meet in that group potentially.
Yoda versus Wellmo. I'm looking forward to that because Wellmo brings some fireworks to that matchup.
Yeah, Yoda gets to practice for one matchup, and that's actually been quite important. And he's also going to be able to practice maybe with MC. I'm sure they're going to work together to try and get themselves both through.
Of course.
In that group to be able to see their, represent their agency and go through like that. That would be nice.
Tough group, though.
Very difficult group there for Todd and Wellmo for sure.
All right, Group C. But VortiX.
Wow, that is a really difficult group.
That
the 2 players
that's sick.
Who are meant to be the top 2 are in the same group, and 4GG's in there. VortiX gets a Terran at least in his group when we know his versus Terran's very good. 4GG now has to ramp up his games against Zerg, and then Harston's just in it.
Yeah,
and I feel a little bit sad for him because that is a very difficult group, but this is the round of 16.
Yeah, that's what you got to expect at this level, right? And Harstem impressed us in the round of 32 with his fantastic preparation. But that one's going to be a tough one. So Harstem, you got a lot more preparing ahead of you in the next week.
Yeah, it's very difficult as well to prepare for 2 different races. It's not easy.
Yeah.
All right, 16th player.
Forgotten who it is. Stardust.
Who could forget Stardust? Who joins us in the last one and will play against Leipzig. And Stardust signed a potential game there. It's a big one. But those are the 16 players in our round of 16.
Awesome. Absolutely fantastic.
Print
Looking
screen
forward to
now,
that.
quick. Press the button.
Go on Reddit, quick, do it.
Get the karma, be fast.
Who gets the karma? Tweeters, get the karma. All right. Okay, so that pretty much wraps things up for the round of 32 here, as we now know exactly what's going to be unfolding for us just in a week's time, basically.
Yeah, it's not long at all. A week tomorrow and the day after.
Yeah.
And you'll be able to come join us live in the studios here in Cologne. There's an awesome opportunity to come check out the games live, to come meet us and, of course, Red Eye, and, of course, all of the players. So you know which day they're playing on. Now's the time to get your tickets.
That's right. WCSEurope.eventbrite.com to purchase your tickets and come join us in the studios. We always have a lot of fun.
We do, and I look forward to meeting you if you do decide to come over for the trip. There's going to be a lot of awesome games, and as mentioned multiple times already, this is going to be the best season so far within the WCS.
Certainly, but for now, guys, that does it for the round of 32. It's been a pleasure bringing you these games. We'll see you in a week's time for the round of 16.